Chanchi. Okay, it's continuing with last night's talk. Master YongHua talked about the Buddha is not the Buddha for himself, the Dharma is not the Dharma for itself, the Sangha is not the Sangha for itself. And we finished the Buddha is not a Buddha for himself. Now the next section is the Dharma is not the Dharma for himself. Let's go through what he teaches. So he says here in slide 293, the Dharma is not the Dharma for itself. It's a Dharma. This is a Dharma for living beings. The Dharma is not the mind, and the Buddha Dharma, they're all one. Okay, Dharma of living being, Dharma of the mind, Dharma, Buddha Dharma. Okay, and the Buddha Dharma is just worldly Dharma, and worldly Dharma is just the Buddha Dharma. The Dharma is for living beings, such as the Buddha Dharma. Buddha Dharma is the Dharma of the mind. And therefore, the Dharma does not say, only I become a Dharma, you cannot become the Dharma. Okay. Ignore this. The Dharma doesn't speak for itself. So this is not necessary to go into this. Okay. As you may have noticed, we learn from our sages, but thank you. But it's okay to inject your own opinion, your agreement, and so forth. Okay, each generation thinks differently. We don't need to totally conform with the prior generations. Okay, so I look at this and I would approach it differently. I think what he's talking about, especially for this Dharma here, I don't like at all, frankly. Because the Dharma is not the Dharma for itself. He went through a lot. He explains here, Dharma is the Dharma of living being, Dharma of the mind, and the Buddha Dharma. They're all one. It's not untrue, okay? But it's not really specific enough for me. Why we have the Buddha Dharma, okay? And then next thing he says, Buddha Dharma is just worldly Dharma, and worldly Dharma is the Buddha Dharma. Also true. Everything Master YongHua says is true. I don't disagree with the veracity of his saying. I just don't agree with the way he explains it for my generation, or how I would explain that for the future generations. Okay, this is true. Buddha Dharma is worldly Dharma. Worldly Dharma is the Buddha Dharma, but it's confusing because for you who don't know the Buddha Dharma, you might say, then what's the point in me studying the Buddha Dharma? It's just worldly dharmas. Okay, so this doesn't help you at all. Number 3 says Dharma living. He says. Dharmas of living beings is the Buddha Dharma, and also true. Buddha Dharma is the Dharma of the mind. Okay, so again, the last phrase here, I would not go into it. It's the Dharma to us Westerners. The Dharma is not something that can speak for itself. Okay, so there's no point in going there. Okay, so how would I explain the Dharma is the Dharma is not the Dharma for myself? And I try to look for this phrase here. I try to see the quote where it came from. Can you locate this quote and see which sutra it came from? Which where was the origin of this? I'm curious. Okay, please look it up for me. Thank you. So how would I explain that Dharma is not a Dharma for itself? It's very simple. Okay, people talk too much in my mind. Okay, Buddha, these concepts are important. I don't want you to go through listening to a lot and then you burden yourself with a lot of different things that you can't remember in the first place, and they would somehow contradict or it seems illogical to you. Here's what the idea behind, to me, what the Buddha Dharma is not the Buddha Dharma for itself. It's very simple. The Buddha Dharma is a Dharma that was taught by the Buddha. And the Buddha taught it because he saw the needs of us, our needs. So the Buddha Dharma does not exist by itself. Because that's why you cannot say the Buddha Dharma is the Buddha Dharma for itself. It's not for itself. It's for the purpose of helping us. What do you think? The Buddha Dharma does not exist by itself, meaning that if we weren't around, there would be no need for Buddha Dharma. If you are enlightened already, if you are perfect already, then you don't need the Buddha Dharma. So this is the section, this phrase here, it says, the Buddha Dharma is just worldly Dharma, worldly Dharma is just Buddha Dharma, is correct. Okay? All right? If you have wisdom, you will see that the Buddha Dharma is not separate from worldly Dharmas. And if you really have even higher level of wisdom, you see the worldly Dharmas are basically the Buddha Dharma. See, you are not there yet. That's why you say, all right? Yeah. So what he says is correct. Okay. Next, he says, a sangha is not a sangha for himself. A sangha refers to worthy and sagely beings and the 10 directions. Not really. And then it leaves us out. We're not sagely beings, we're not worthy beings. Therefore, what about us? You see, this is incorrect. The sangha is a body that the Buddha created for the express purpose of, number one, representing the sagely disciples of the Buddha. Meaning that you can go there and learn wisdom. That's very important. If you're seeking wisdom, you should go seek it through a sangha. Okay? So that's why the Buddha created the sangha. Number one, to represent the sages and the worthy ones, disciples of the Buddha. All right? So the sangha represents wisdom, are supposed to be representatives of wisdom. If you don't have wisdom, then you are the representatives of the sagely sangha. So the sangha has two parts, the sagely sangha and the unsagely sangha, the afflicted sangha, if you will, or the confused sangha, if you will. Okay? Now, the Asian don't like to talk about this. Asian says, we're the sangha, we're special, we're irreproachable, we're here, you're supposed to come and serve us and make offerings to us on a pedestal. We sit on the pedestal and you're supposed to come and serve us. I don't subscribe to that concept because it's not really believed anymore. How's your research?
It didn't come from any sutra. It just says it could be based on the Varsha Sutra, but I didn't see it matching any sutra. It seems like it's come from Master YongHua.
Okay. What he says is he's a sagely sangha, therefore what he says is also wisdom. So it's not incorrect, it's not unproductive to discuss his sagely teachings. But here, what he says here is totally incorrect, okay? Because the sangha is not a perfect sangha. Buddha knows it. He accepted a lot of people in, and they are etiquette. They are really desperate people. Some of them are pretty good. Most of them are pretty bad. Okay, and so the Buddha patiently gave them a chance to learn and receive training to open the wisdom. So the sangha here is a very special group, a special society where the people are receiving a specialized training program to open the wisdom to become sagely sangha. Okay, the purpose of people joining a sangha is to become a sagely sangha, to be this one, that master, this group here, that the Master YongHua is referring to. But the majority of the sangha nowadays, in our Dharma ending era in particular, is not sagely, is not even worthy. I can't even think of that many sanghas in most temples I've seen even deserve to be called worthy. Worthy is a special level wisdom folks. Okay, it's not the regular 4A. It's higher than 4A, if you will, precisely speaking. Okay, so if you think about it, meaning that if you are Tibetan or something, you get to 4A, if you ever get there, okay, unless you have a special program to go further, you're not a worthy. From our perspective, you're really not a worthy level. Okay, never mind about the or you talk about Hinayana monk and so forth. Okay, worthy is a special training, a special level. Okay, that you undergo training for. It's very precise in Mahayana. We don't mess around. When we use words like sagely and we use words like worthy, it carries a specific meaning. Okay, so here Master YongHua is not completely right. He's leaving out the unworthy sangha and the unworthy sagely beings. And that's the nature of the sangha. The sangha is not supposed to be perfect. The sangha is a body of individuals that are in the special program of training, as far as I'm concerned. All right. Of course, you always have, depends on where you are. But what I've seen is that most of the sanghas out there are really not representative of the worthy or sagely beings. All right. So, the reason I bring it up is because if you're a sangha, you aspire to be a sangha, okay, you have to ask yourself. The standard is you are representatives of these sagely worthy sanghas. Are you? You carry responsibilities, folks. And so what are the sagely sanghas to him? Wan Shin Bodhisattva, Great Saint Manjushri, Universal Worthy, Maitreya, Earthstar, all sanghas. However, they don't have a single thought that says, only I can be a sangha. Again, cheap shot and the other sides. Okay? You cannot be a sangha, everyone can be a sangha, everyone can leave the home life and become a bhikshu. Okay, see? So he's too obsessed with these people. Therefore, sangha for themselves, so you see, so let's talk about the concept of the sangha is not a sangha for himself. Okay, if you are a worthy or sagely sangha, then you probably have enough wisdom to understand that why you're doing it. Unless you're still an idiot, Okay, you're doing it because you are supposed to be the elder sons, the worthy sons of the Buddha. Therefore, with that, carry responsibilities. Okay, that you're there and you are part of the Seichi Sangha because you're there to serve the Buddhas, not serve yourself. There, henceforth, the concept, the Sangha is not for himself. You are there to serve the Buddhas, if you really have wisdom. Unfortunately, nowadays, since Dharma ending age, there's many Sanghas who are at a Seichi level, but they still are not serving the Sangha. They only think of serving themselves. And that's why those people, we can't care less. Honestly, personally, I don't care about those people. They can be gone tomorrow. I wouldn't even miss a beat. I throw them out as well when I encounter such people who don't follow rules, because they don't deserve to be there. They don't deserve to be representatives of the Buddha. They haven't learned yet. They have the potential to learn. They have the ability to develop that belief, but they're too full of themselves. They started being a Sangha for themselves, and they nurtured it, and they never really subscribed into the Buddha's teaching. It's always me. Buddhist teaching is never about me. We tolerate the me's, but after you open your wisdom, we expect better than that from you. So that's why, personally, I haven't hesitated to throw out those people or try to keep them. Okay? We have standards here in Mahayana. We're not desperate. We have plenty of people to teach and train. All right? So that's the first group where you have wisdom. And so you're supposed to eventually understand that you are representing the elder sons who have wisdom. They're the ones who are the people that Buddhas depend on to carry on the family legacy. If you don't measure up, get the hell out. That's my message to them. But if you have, on the other hand, you don't have a sagely wisdom yet, and so we are a lot more lenient with you, the Buddha is a lot more lenient with you, therefore they simply, patiently guide you along, okay, without expecting much, give you a chance. It's like a boy. You have to give a boy support, you have to give the boy food, you have to give the boy protection for the boy to grow, to be a man. Or woman, or maybe, wait a minute, a girl. A boy can become a woman too, but that's a different topic we're not going to tonight. Okay? So understand that the Sangha is never desperate, let me tell you. We invest in you because we're patient. Okay? Hoping that your good roots will mature. Okay? And so that's the second part. The Sangha who is not sagely, who is kind of like a parasite, okay? We tolerate it and we nurture it, just like we would nurture children, indiscriminately. And so that's why the Sangha, that Sangha is very important, because that's necessary for the propagation of Buddhism If you think that the Buddha, Dharma, or Buddhas only depend on Manjushri, on One Yin Bodhisattva, Sunlight Bodhisattva, you're dead wrong. The Buddha depends on these parasites, the parasite sanghas we have. Is it clear? Just like in a corporation, they may be the greatest corporation, but they need to bring in idiots and people who don't know anything and train them until they understand the company doctrines, the company philosophy, and be able to contribute and make the company prosper. It's the same principle. So along the process, they shed people who don't belong. They shed people who are incompetent. Yes. Same thing in our sangha. We nurture people because we think long term. Okay? So it's not correct for him to say that the sangha is only Seishi Sangha. Actually, the most important part for me of the sangha is those parasites, those babies, or our future. That's why we're doing this. I'm still doing this because I see a lot of babies that need to be nurtured. And leave it to my peers. I watch them die and go nowhere. So, okay, so that's why. So eventually, so for those sanghas who are not quite there yet, the sangha. Those sanghas are for themselves. So we're trying to teach them to understand that they should have high ideals in that. Eventually, we don't understand, they should leave the program, as far as I'm concerned. I will not throw them out, but when they leave, I can't care less, personally. Okay? So the Buddha is also Buddha for himself. The Dharma is also the Dharma for itself. The Sangha is also Sangha for himself. Okay, so now he talk. Not only the Buddha is also not a Buddha for himself, but he's also Buddha for himself. How would you explain that? He says. He says that, according to him, is spoken from the perspective of each person's self-nature. Okay, fine. So now he's introducing concept of self-nature. It's okay. You don't understand, it's okay. Just understand the concept of self-nature. You have a self-nature there. What is a self-nature? The self-nature there is a treasure. Your treasure. If you will, your self-nature is your unmind goal. Okay? Believe. Okay? That is, you have a tremendous treasure called your self-nature. It's worth a lot more than all the cryptos in the world, all the gold in the world. Everything in this world here is nowhere near the value of your self-nature. That's what you have. But you just don't know how to mind it. So we're here to teach you how to mind it. So if you will, you're miners with a hard hat, with a light, and carrying a canary. I see this is a theme for the year-end video again. Got that? We are all miners of our self-nature. Do not ignore that. This is your biggest treasure. Not your wife. Losers who only think their wives are. Okay? Not your son. Okay? Not your job. Not your family fortune. Okay? It's your self-nature, this thing here that you don't know where it is yet, but it is something that you own. This gold mine that you own is priceless. It's endless gold. Sounds good? You don't believe me? Of course not. You can't fool me. You look at me. Oh, yeah, Master. Okay. Too good to be true. Yeah, are you true? So, what you want me to sell, to buy next, right? That's what's going through your mind. Okay. So this is spoken in perspective of each person's self-nature. Okay. Inside self-nature, all living is replete with the merit and virtue of all Buddha's 10 directions. Okay, yeah, that's also true. But I don't know what it means, the merit and virtue of all Buddha's 10 directions. It's too much. Inside our self-nature, repeat the Dharma treasure, all Buddha's 10 directions, so and then repeat the sanghas and the sages and so forth. Okay? And therefore, it's said the Buddha is for God himself, Dharma for himself, sangha is sangha for himself. No. How can you explain the Buddha is for himself, sangha is for himself, and Dharma for itself? Anyone has any ideas? It's also true. I don't know how to explain to you in a way that you can understand, that you can tell your children about. You can go home and, I just explained to you how to tell your children that the Buddha is not for himself. Dharma is not for itself. Sangha is not for himself. But the part where the Buddha is for himself and Dharma for itself, Sangha is for himself, I don't know how to explain it to you so that you can explain it to your unbelieving children who would rather learn Phào Luân Cung and dance. That's real to them. Okay, so Buddha is for the Buddha for himself. Okay, let me explain this to you. Let me present it to you from this angle. We see what you think. The Buddha is the Buddha for himself because he's not trying to impress you. You are trying so hard to impress your wives, your children, your husband, your boyfriend, your future girlfriend, and so forth. Okay, you're trying so hard to impress. Buddha's never trying to impress you, never ever. Okay, Dharma is what is spoken. The Dharma is spoken. Is the truth. Okay? The truth doesn't care what you think. It's going to be, the Dharma is the truth, it's just the truth. If you think of it as true or untrue, it doesn't give a damn. What do you want? Number 3, Sangha is for himself, is that the Sangha until you learn to how better take care of yourself, you can never unfold your wisdom. How do you like it? I just made it up. So it needs work. Okay? It really needs work. All right, don't ask me again. What did I just say? I forgot already. Okay, next section. Is the next section or still?
可以说是，佛字佛，法字法，僧字僧。在六祖坛经上说，字归佛，不是说他归。  ，
嗯
In the Platform Sutra of the Sixth Patriarch, it is said, "Take refuge with your own Buddha." It is not said, "Others should take refuge with the Buddha."
自归依法，不是说他归依法；自归依僧，不是说他归依。这样。
You yourself take refuge with the Dharma. It is not said, "Others should take refuge with the Dharma." Take refuge with the sangha. It is not said, "Others should take refuge with the sangha."
自性归依佛，自性归依法，自性归依僧。
Therefore, the self-nature takes refuge with the Buddha, the self-nature takes refuge with the Dharma, and the self-nature takes refuge with the sangha.
我们这个三宝啊，说起来这个道理是无穷无尽的。我们今天呢，说一少部分。
The triple jewel of ours, to speak about it, the principles are infinite and inexhaustible. Today, we talked about a small part of it.
Okay, let's go over the last small section. So he just finished about talking about the triple jewel. So you have to remember this is spoken for the sake of educating the people who were here in this country in the early 70s. So he's introduced the concept of triple jewel, and the purpose is triple jewel. And so that's why he talked about Buddha, Dharma, and the sangha, triple jewel. So the concept next he talked about is in the Sixth Patriarch Sutra, very, very popular sutra for Westerners. It says here, the Sixth Patriarch taught his listeners, he taught, I'm going to teach you to take refuge with your self-nature. Okay? And so that's what, I think he's the first one who talked about it that way, because before then, the Buddhist teachers, the sanghas, and the lay people teachers who explained Buddhism and who wanted to become gurus and taught Buddhism illegally, if you ask me, okay? These lay people, I'm not, again, let me clarify, because people tend to take what I say out of context. If you're a lay person, it's okay to teach Buddhism, okay? Because number one, maybe you're doing it in a college environment, university environment. So it's treated, Buddhism is treated like a topic, a subject of studies, okay? And that's okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Number two, you as a layperson, you can also teach Buddhism, teach about Buddhism, as long as it's under, again, if it's not within the university or environment, okay, degree-seeking environment, okay, I recognize that as to be a valid thing to do as part of society, part of worldly knowledge here. But if you are not in that environment, you teach Buddhism, you ought to be doing it under a sagely sangha, if you really have any self-respect. I question those people who are lay people who teach Buddhism, because I look at quite a few of them. Most of them, virtually almost all of them, have no wisdom. Okay, and therefore, what they teach fundamentally has so many holes. The advantage of you lay people who teach Buddhism should be under a master who has wisdom is that in Buddhism, in Mahayana, your teaching Buddhism is also cultivation. I look at it as cultivation. When you teach, you learn. You learn more and more and more. So unless you teach under a monk or nun who has wisdom, you never learn. You're wasting your life. And you're uttering stupidities. Okay? Anyone has any problems? Luckily for me, there aren't many people who watch our channels, so that's why that's why it's no problems. Yes, Wei Mao.
Hi, Master. I'm not sure if this is correct, but I would like to repent for my sexual desires.
Okay, lower.
In my past lives and
Lower,
present
whisper.
life.
Is that why your volume is so low?
It's why, I'm sorry, again?
Yeah, I can barely hear you.
Martina,
You're
could you
whispering for a purpose,
could you make
I
your
imagine.
mic close your mouth?
Make it closer?
Yes.
Oh, like this. Okay. So I repeat what I said? Yeah? Oh, okay. Master Emitofuo, so I was saying that I do not know if this is the correct way, but I would like to repent for my sexual desires, known and unknown, in the past life and present life.
Past lives? You don't even know what they are. Why have to repent?
I was gonna sit to meditate, and for some reason the question popped, like if there is anything that I should repent, and then I don't know, I just enter into meditation and I start seeing images, like it was.
I hear you. So
Okay.
of all the sexual desires you have in the past, which one would you like to repent?
It was a whole lot.
The one when you were in your 20s, 30s, 40s? Which ones?
I think since
you
I
think
was
are the
little.
worst?
I don't know, it came more...
Okay, very good. Another question I have for you, or consideration is, when you were a male dog and you have sexual desire, you ran after all those female dogs, those bitches. They call bitches. Do you want to repent of those too? Just asking. Which one are you most concerned with?
I didn't see those images, Master.
You didn't see images of a male dog chasing after bitches?
No, Master.
What about the time when you were a deer?
I was a deer? I didn't see that either.
Since you want to repent of all the past sexual desires, let's do them all. You were also a doe in a prior life. And you have so much sexual desire, and you made a lot of babies. You want to repent of that too?
I guess
Okay,
that is
okay, very good. Okay, think about it.
No, I would, Master, if I do believe you. If you say that, I believe you. I mean, I haven't seen those.
You're going to be busy. Keep on repenting. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Master.
Yeah. Think about the door and the male dog. Okay. Yeah. And so he says next, you take refuge of the Dharma, others take refuge of the Dharma, refuge of the sangha, I should take refuge of the sangha. Okay. So the sixth patriarch says, you take refuge with your self-nature. What he's talking about here is kind of advanced concept, even though we don't understand. I don't understand myself, but it's important concept I'd like you to consider. That is, in Buddhism, when we teach you to take refuge with the sangha, meaning refuge to the Buddha, with the Dharma, with the sangha, okay, believe or not, okay, you actually are taking refuge with your self-nature, because it's all contained in your self-nature. That's all. It's that simple. Okay? And one day, when you get closer and closer to that level of wisdom, then you begin to appreciate it. That's why when we teach you to take refuge, it's not about you taking refuge so that I have one more disciple. The Buddha can say, I have one more disciple. It's always about you. Okay? It's a process that helps you mind the self-nature of yours that you should be aware of. Don't look outside. You are so full of wonderful things inside of you. And our job is help bring you back in touch with that, and touch and learn how to mind that treasure inside of you. A wonderful treasure inside of you. Yes, Wei Mao.
Hello thưa thầy, con có một thắc mắc là lâu năm, hồi mười mấy năm về trước con có xem một quyển kinh nói về ông Cấp Cô Độc. Ổng có một cái thắc mắc khi hỏi Đức Phật mà con thấy so sánh với cái thời đại bây giờ nó có một phần hơi khác một chút, cho nên con muốn định thắc mắc để hỏi thầy có thể giải thích cho con được không? Thì theo câu chuyện của ông Cấp Cô Độc á, thì ổng có 3 đứa con gái với một người con trai. Thì cô con gái lớn á, thì gả chồng ở xa. Thì khi cô ấy cổ bị bệnh, cổ mới nhắn cha mẹ đến. Thì đến thì ông Cấp Cô Độc mới là đi thăm con gái đó. Thì con gái đó mới cầm tay cha mà nói là cô sẽ phải không có ở trên cõi đời này nữa, kêu cha bằng em, chị sắp đi xa, em ở lại trần gian cố gắng tu để đắc giải thoát. Thì ông rất ngạc nhiên.
Have the translation and ask her, who is this guy? Is he? Doesn't ring a bell. Is he a monk or sagely monk or what?
Master, this is the solitary Cấp Cô Độc. He's the one who
solitarily enlightened?
No, Master. He's the one who lay out the gold pieces in the Cedar Grove. He is the friend of Venerable Sariputra and the Cedar Grove. That when the Buddha is trying to lay out, when he first get the Cedar Grove, and he lay out the gold to cover the base, so that the Buddha can stay to speak the Dharma. I forgot the name, Master.
Sudana. I usually remember the big donors' names. Okay, continue.
Dạ, ông cấp đầu thì những
Hello, Master. So I have a question that has been like tens of years ago that I've been reading a book, a sutra, saying that talking about cấp cô độc. Nowadays it's so much different. So back then, that when I read, cấp cô độc, he has three children, three daughters and one son. And the eldest daughter was sick, and and she has to stay far away after she get married. And so then she got sick, and mom and dad come and visit her, which is cấp cô độc, come, and then the eldest daughter hold the dad hand and saying that, calling him like, I am your older sister. I will no longer be able to live in this, continue to live. So you gotta try your best to cultivate. So she called her father younger brother.
So she's the one who says, I'm dying, or what? I don't understand the story here.
She's the one who is dying, and then she said, yeah.
And she tells her father what?
She called her father as a younger brother instead of.
Dạ, con gái lớn của ông cấp cô độc thì lúc đó đang bệnh nặng, mới nhắn cha đến để từ giã. Thì khi người cha nghe bệnh nặng nhắn vậy mau lập tức thì đi. Bây giờ cô ấy, cổ gả chồng ở xa cũng phải 200 cây số gì đó, cho nên ông đi tới đó thì cô mới nhìn mặt cha mà kêu cha bằng em. Xưng là chị sắp đi xa rồi, em ở lại cố gắng tu để em đắc giác giải thoát. Thì ông rất buồn rầu, nhưng ông cũng không nói gì. Sau khi gọi cái cô mất thì ông dự lễ hỏa táng của con gái xong, ông mới đến tịnh xá. Vì ông là người là người cúng dường tịnh xá bậc nhất trong cái thời đó. Ông nhảy vào và ông hết lòng cúng dường cho Phật, cho nên mỗi ngày ông hay đến tịnh xá, có gì là hay hỏi Phật lắm. Cho nên hôm đó ông đi, ông rất là buồn, ngồi ủ rũ một bên ở góc tịnh xá. Thì Đức Phật mới hỏi ông, sao hôm nay ông có vẻ buồn quá, có cái việc gì không? Thì ông mới nói với Phật nói, ông không hiểu sao đứa con gái lớn của con thì có theo con hiểu về Phật Pháp và tu rất là hiền lành, rất là tốt, mà tất cả đều làm những việc tốt không, bắt theo con cũng làm bố thí các thứ. Mặc dù có chồng vẫn giữ cái đạo Phật, không có đi theo mấy cái đạo khác. Mà không biết sao mà một người hiền lành biết hiểu Phật Pháp mà khi mất á, lại nói những cái câu không có được bình thường, có vẻ có phải là bị hoảng loạn gì không? Cái Phật mới hỏi là nói những cái gì mà không bình thường. Thì ông mới kể lại cho Phật nghe là khi ông đến thăm, nghe con gái bệnh nặng, ông mới đến thăm thì cô mới nói là kêu con bằng em. Em ở lại, chị sẽ đi xa, cố gắng lại tu để đắc giải thoát. Con không hiểu sao thấy đứa con gái tốt đẹp vậy mà lại khi mất lại không có được tốt đẹp như vậy, lại thành một người hùng dịch không?
Hello, Master. So she said that basically the eldest daughter, his eldest daughter, was get married and like far away from his family, like 200 miles away. So then when she got sick, mom and dad, which is the giver of the solitary and the loneliness, came to see her because she was about to pass away. So then she instead called her dad as a younger brother, saying that me, I'm as a sister, I'm about to leave this world. So you stay back and try to cultivate and attain enlightenment. So then there's the giver of solitary and loneliness is, she's very sad. And so then he went to the Cedar Grove, and one day the Buddha saw him and asked him why is he felt so sad like that. And then he explained that, no, actually, I'm sorry, after he attained his daughter cremation, he went back to the Cedar Grove and he sat there, and the Buddha saw him, and Buddha asked him, what happened to you? Why you feel so sad? And he explained that, how come my daughter, my eldest daughter, know a lot about Buddha Dharma, very kind, much a good person, even after also follow me to do a lot of giving. And even after she get married, she still keep Buddhism, but did not follow her husband's religion. A person that is so kind and so good like that, but in the moment of dying, somehow she is not normal. And she called me as a younger brother instead. And she's saying that she's about to go far away. So I have to stay back and try my best to cultivate and attain liberation. And I don't know why a person who have a good life and being a good person like that, and at the end of their life, they become a totally different person.
Dạ, thưa thầy, thì Phật mới trả lời với ông cấp cô độc là đứa con gái của ông á, thật ra là không chết, không phải vì hoảng loạn đâu. Cô đã đắc chứng tam quả A La Hán. Lúc cô mất thì cô nói chuyện theo của cái bậc thánh, không có như người bình thường kêu cha con nữa. Tại vì lúc này đó ông mới là tu đà hoàng, còn cô ấy là A Na Hàm, cho nên á, thì một người khi chứng quả A Na Hàm thì sẽ không có duyên để ở trên cõi đời, phải mà an duyên chết để về cõi tịnh cư thiên, rồi bổ cái đức, bổ tu thêm để lên chứng A La Hán mà về nhập niết bàn. Cho nên cô mới dùng những cái lời nhắn với ông như thế thôi. Còn khi mà con đọc tới khúc này thì con nghĩ là hồi xưa thời Đức Phật á, nếu mà tam quả là không có duyên, cũng như là có duyên trở về cõi tịnh cơ thiên, không có duyên sống ở trên cái thế gian. Con thấy cũng như bây giờ cũng có nhiều người chứng A La Hán hay là tam quả tứ quả thì họ cũng còn an nhiên ở trên cõi đời, không hay khác trong cái sự tích này. Không dịch nữa không?
Hello, Master. So then the giver of the solitary and the loneliness, saying that, no, the Buddha respond to the giver of the solitary and the loneliness that your daughter died is not because of her mind goes crazy, but she already attained third state arhat, which is third state arhat. So then, but at that time, you yourself are just Sakudagamin. She herself is Anagamin, so she's higher in the status of sagely in that liberation. So that's why when she passed away, she go back, return to the pure abbot heaven. to cultivate so that she become fourth state arhat and she can enter nirvana. So she just wanted to use that message to tell you to cultivate. That's all. So when I read this passage, I saw that the third state arhat or anagamin, they have the condition to come back to the pure abbot heaven. So I see that a lot of people nowadays attain third state and fourth state arhat. They can still live happily, peacefully in this world. So somehow it's different from this story.
Dạ, thưa thầy, theo con nghĩ như thời Đức Phật với thời bây giờ nó khác. Bây giờ là những người chứng tâm quả tứ quả, nhưng mà họ vẫn còn ở đây là vì họ cũng còn muốn trả những cái duyên mà họ muốn, họ có phát nguyện, cho nên họ vẫn còn. Không biết phải không, thành ra con cũng định hỏi thầy vấn đề này. A Di Đà Phật.
So I know that from the Buddha periods up to nowadays are different. They have difference. Those who attain third state to fourth state arhat, now they stay back. I think because they want to pay back the condition, or that they have already made the vow in the past. Therefore, they still have to be here busy. I don't know if it is correct way to explain it that way. That's why I wanted to ask Master about this problem, this matter.
So the question is what?
Con tại vì con nghĩ là hồi thời Đức Phật á, thì theo quyển kinh đó nói là khi mà cô ấy chứng tam quả là những người chứng tam quả đó thì có cái duyên sanh trở về cõi cái tịnh cư thiên để mà bổ tu cái đức tu chứng A La Hán và nhập niết bàn. Mà con thấy cũng như là thời bây giờ thì cũng có nhiều người chứng tam quả tứ quả, người ta cũng còn duyên sống ở trên cái thế gian này để họ làm những cái Phật sự của họ. Cái đó là có thể là họ có cái phát nguyện gì chắc, cho nên mới khác nhau chỗ đó. Con nghĩ vậy thôi, con không biết đúng không, con hỏi thầy.
It's because I was thinking that back in the Buddha's time, that in the sutra, which state that those who attend third state arhat, they have the condition to go back and reborn in the pure abbot heaven, so that he can complementary cultivate, so that they can become, so that they can enter nirvana. But nowadays, I see that a lot of people, they attain fourth state and third state arhat, not like the thing that it was said in the sutra.
Okay, it's time for me to teach you about translation. You've been doing a good job translating for us, and I appreciate it. But it's time for all of you to raise the standards a little, especially the Vietnamese. When you translate for me, you want to translate word for word, because you probably don't understand what I really want to say, therefore you want to translate word for word. However, when you translate for the people who ask, if you translate word for word, it's a lot of time that's wasted. And in particular, if you are able, because your level is higher, if you are able to understand what they're getting at, you can simply paraphrase them, use as many words of their own words as possible, but you should paraphrase them, because their heads are not clear. Therefore, you don't need to translate all the unclear thoughts. Does it make sense? It's not a good use of the time. In particular, the Vietnamese has a very nice tradition of praising me and say, I bow to you and I wish you long life and long and good health and lots of money and lots of disciples and you have no affliction and so forth. It costs the assembly 5 minutes to hear that. And it makes you feel very good, I assure you. But it's not very productive. Okay, so you can skip all those as well. They mean well and we appreciate it, but you don't need to burden us with all that. Okay? I understand it already. No need to repeat it to me. Okay? Okay. Now, this particular question, for example, you could have simplified a lot of it because she's not clear in what she wants. Okay. So her question is about how come this woman here, the daughter, calls her dad younger brother. She's dying. She can call him anything she wants. I mean, go ahead and take her to court. You think you're going to take her to court? That's why she's very relaxed and says, hey, Daddy, you're not very smart. You have no wisdom. You gave the Buddha so much money, and I got better, high level than you. Think about that, Daddy. Okay, so she expressed her disappointment in this guy. That's why he called younger brother. It's a normal thing. But the Buddha is very kind. He says, yes, the woman is third stage arhat, but you are first stage arhat in our world. We have a brotherhood, sisterhood, whatever you want to call it. I can't care less. But among these sages, Hinayana sages, there's a brotherhood kind of spirit where they look out for each other. So that's why she got emotional. She says, younger brother, between parentheses, I'm a little bit concerned about you. You keep giving money away to the Buddha. What's going to happen to your fortune? I'm worried about that, so it's not very wise of you, okay? But cultivate. As long as you're there, cultivate, okay? The Vietnamese will not ever do that. They never give away the fortune, lay gold on the surface to buy land for the Buddha. They never do that. Come on. Only Indians would do that. Okay? So learn from a Vietnamese. Be careful. And so that's why he says, I'm worried about you, younger brother. You believe the Buddha too much. Okay? But it's okay. Cultivate. Cultivate. And that's so the Buddha is very kind. He says, okay, that's why she tells you so. That's all there is to it. And why do you have to keep on thinking, how come she goes up to the heavens where you and the 5 pure abodes of the heavens, of the third dhyana? Is it third or fourth? I don't remember anymore. One of those dhyanas, I think it's fourth dhyana. Where the third stage arhats, after they die, they go up there. There are 5 different heavens up there they can choose. Okay, one of them. Okay, and to stay in, and it's like private club. Unless you're third stage arhat, you have no business going there. So it's private. No one can see in there. They can peer in and peep into that. So it's like a private club for them. And it's very nice, and that's what Jing Kung is right now as well. And so, contrary to his disciples' belief, they think that Jing Kung went to the Pure Land. No, he's not in the Pure Land. Let me tell you, he's in the Pure Abode, one of the Pure Abode heavens. Anyway, who's going to believe me? I have a big mouth anyway. So you go up there. This is the teachings from the Buddha's sutras. You go up there and you live there, and then at the end of your life, which is a very long time, very long, many kalpas, and then at the end of your life, you naturally certify the fourth stage Arhat. Okay, that's why you call the third stage Arhats are called non-returner. All right, and so her question is, so the Buddha teaches that, and that's correct. Yeah, yes, but how come there are a lot of people here? She feels our third stage Arhat is still in the world. Why? How come they're not in the heavens of pure abodes, the pure abode heavens? My answer to her is, number one, none your business. Number two, since you are a busybody, you look at people who third stage Arhat, okay, fine. If you want to be that way, I can be that way too and talk to you. These people, what makes you think that they are not, it's not the first time they're certified the third stage Arhat. At the end of this life, they probably will go up there. You're assuming that the third stage Arhat, the ones you met, the ones you think you're aware of, are not. It's not the first time that they certify their third stage Arhat. Okay, that's point number two. You don't know. Your question doesn't make sense. Number three, assuming that there are people here that are. See how precise I am? I'm very detailed. Okay, this is why, my boy, you want to translate everything I say. Okay, number three, yes, there are cases where people are here, and there are third stage Arhats. All right, and a small number of them choose to be here instead of being born into the third stage Arhat heavens. Yes, there are some of those. Okay? Hopefully not too many, because that's not very wise of them to do. Okay? In my personal opinion. There's some who are like that because they do have a choice. They can either, at the end of their lives, if you're a third stage Arhat, you can go to the third stage Arhat's heavens, the pure abodes, the heavens of pure abodes. Okay? That's one option, is automatic for you. All right? Or you can choose to stay here and undergo a lot of suffering again. So yes, they do have a choice. When the Buddha teaches you, in the sutras you read the information from sutras, it's only for, in general, information, but there are always exceptions and variations. And this is why it doesn't matter how smart you are, how knowledgeable you are as a layperson, and this is going back to the layperson teaching Buddha Dharma again, okay? You don't know everything. If the only thing you pick up is from sutras, you don't know anything about Buddha Dharma, let me assure you. It's so much we're not telling you. It's not possible to tell you everything. Okay? This is why we have teachers coming to the world, like Master YongHua, to help us understand the sutras and help us understand these exceptions. So that's why lay people who teach Buddha Dharma by themselves, they're total idiots. Don't waste time with them, if you ask me. Okay? Anyway, so you see, third stage is that, third scenario is that, yes, they can choose to stay here as an option. They're not all required to go to the third stage Arhat heavens at all. On the fourth, there's another fourth case, but I'm not going to tell you. It's too much. I can go to 4, 5, 6, and 7 if you ask me, but it's too complicated, too much for you. just to impress you lay people. There's so much more we're not telling you. Okay, and so are we in a new section? Yes, Wei Mountain.
Master, is self-nature the same as the Buddha nature?
Yes, different names, same thing. Anyone else? Very good. Continue.
之后啊，我还讲一讲昨天讲这个笑话。这个笑话怎么说的呢？因为这个沙弥说他看这个杂志欢喜几个讲演。
Next, let me talk about the joke I told yesterday again. How is this joke told? It's because the novice monk said he liked reading this magazine. He liked a speech.
你在这个时候啊，我就对他讲，我说，你们各位佛教的善知识，如果在这个杂志上啊发现有不对的地方，说的没有道理。
At that time, I said to him, I said, all of you good-knowing advisors in Buddhism, if you find anything incorrect in this magazine,
道理的地方，你可以啊，不客气的来告诉我，甚至于就当着面来打我的嘴巴，也可以。
anything that makes no sense, you can, without being polite, come and tell me, or even just slap my face in front of me. That is also okay.
我不单呢不反对你对我这种的粗暴的行为，而且我还决定呢，谢谢你这种的教诲，我接受你这种的指导。
Not only will I not oppose your rude... Was that snoring? Oh, sorry. Okay. Not only will I not oppose your rude and brutal behavior towards me, but I will also certainly thank you for this kind of teaching. I accept this kind of guidance from you.
但可有一样，可不准来打我的这个弟子。我这个弟子如果讲错话，你可以来好好的对我讲，不可以打。
But there is one thing. You are not allowed to beat my disciple. If my disciple says something wrong, you can come and tell me in a good manner. You cannot hit with physical force.
因为你要打他们，他们害怕被人打，就不敢再修佛法。
Because if you hit them, they will be afraid of being hit and will not dare to practice the Buddha Dharma anymore.
Next section, Wei Mountain question.
Someone. Is it me? Oh, thank you, Master. Brady has a comment, but I'm not too sure if it relates to this new section. It was a general comment. Should I go ahead and give it, or?
Why not?
Okay. He says, I think Buddhism rests within ourselves if we are convinced of our seriousness.
Buddhism rests within yourself.
Yes.
What about seriousness? Seriously?
If we are convinced of our seriousness.
No, let's not go there. Okay? Brady, cut it out. Don't go there. It's just, it's a quicksand. No one's gonna survive. I ain't going there. It's best to avoid quicksands, because no one wins. Let me tell you a joke that I told yesterday again. Because novice monk said he liked reading this magazine, he liked his speech. Okay. He talked a lot to this novice monk. Let me tell you something. Okay. You novice monk, and you come and to my temple, abbots, they don't get to talk to me, you hear? Because novice monks have no business roaming around temples. In the Chinese tradition, in the old tradition, novice monks are supposed to stay with the master for 5 years. Okay, even fully ordained monks are supposed to stay with the master for 5 years before they should travel. Because if you travel too soon, you pick up all these bad habits that you cannot tell which ones are good, which ones are bad. And therefore, you're better off finding a good, knowing advisor, stick with that person until you have enough that solid enough of a foundation for you to travel and seek others. All right? If you want to travel like that, then you probably are preparing yourself to leave your master anyway. Okay? For such people, I have no time for them. Okay? Yeah. You're a novice, you're supposed to learn from your master. Why do you leave? When you leave the home life of a master, if you don't plan to learn your master, what kind of person are you? No room for such people, no time. I don't want time for such people. Well, Master YongHua is very compassionate. Yeah, I can't even say that because it's not true. So he says, so he spent a lot of time talking to this Sri Lankan monk. Must be desperate. I'm desperate, but I don't talk to people. You know, I want you to know, when I was at Blue Mountain Temple, there were monks who asked, Sri Lankan monks who asked to come to join me. I said no. And there's Vietnamese nuns who have PhDs who came to me and said, I like you. I said, okay, thank you so much. He says, I'd like to come and join your temple. I said, oh, thank you so much. And what for? I asked her. She says, I want to build a library of Buddha Dharma. And I know what I want to do. I look at her and say, your level is too low. I told myself, I didn't say anything to her. I said, the level is too low. What kind of library you think you're going to build? A library for PhD people or a library for enlightened people? So I turned her down. Because if I accepted her, we will all be serving her by now. Okay? We have standards. We're poor, but we have standards. You know. And unknown, but we have standards. Again, let me repeat about lay people teaching Buddha Dharma. It's okay if you teach under, like a lay person, like what's that guy at my master's temple, Dr. Van something. He's a lay person, but he can teach at the temple because it's approved by Master YongHua. Okay, and he has wisdom. Yes, some wisdom. A little, but some. Okay? It's a lot smaller than he thinks he has, if you ask me. But then he never asked me. I have to tell you. Okay? Very, very small. He thinks it's big. I look at him. I don't know what's the matter with these people. They think so highly of themselves. Yes, YouTube.
Thank you, Master. 이승남님의 질문입니다. 존경하는 마스터, 어제 오늘 3부에 대한 많은 말씀들 감사합니다. 두 가지 질문입니다. 첫 번째, 불법, 신법, 중생법이 다르지 않음은 출세간법이 세간법을 포함한다는 뜻인지요? 두 번째 질문, 승가에는 스님과 사찰을 포함하는 건가요? 제가자가 출가를 하지 않고 많은 증진이 된다면 승가라 할 수 있나요? 유마 거사는 승가인가요?
Master, there are two questions from Yi Seung Nam. Dear Master, thank you for your many teachings about triple jewels over the past 2 days. Question number 1. Does the statement, there's no difference between the Buddha Dharma, the mind Dharma, and the Dharma of living beings, mean that the transcendental Dharma includes the worldly Dharma? Second question. Does the sangha include both synims and temples? If a layperson makes great progress without formally living the home life, can they still called part of the sangha? Is layman Vimalakirti considered part of the sangha? Thank you.
He's cheating. This guy's cheating. I told him only limit 2 hard questions per day, and he combined 2 into 1. Okay. I answer the second question first because I sort of forgot the exact details of our first question. Okay. Now, when a layperson who has wisdom, like Vimalakirti, or not even mere Vimalakirti's level, there are lay people I met here in the U.S. who have higher level wisdom than Master YongHua's disciples. All of them, right now. Okay? They're higher now, and there's a lot of people who are higher than Master YongHua's levels. Are they considered the sangha? Not really. Okay? Because the sangha is a special group that requires special admission, where you need to go through full ordination, you need to go through training and so forth, and therefore you call sangha, and you're deemed to be certified via sangha as usually through a master or through a Buddhist association, so a special kind of certification that is important for the propagation and the preservation of Buddhism. So the Buddha says you need the sangha, you need the sangha for the Dharma to propagate. So that's why we have that process. So you can hardly call that lay people as a sangha, all right? Even though, as I said, I'm speaking with instances, with actual facts, where lay people are actually a higher level than sanghas. That's true. But they cannot be called sanghas at all. Look at the sixth patriarch. His level of wisdom is much higher than all the other monks during his time. And what did he do before he decided to teach? He said, please ordain me. Please turn me into Sangha. Then I could teach. That's the example right there that I cite. Okay? On the other hand, what about, it seems to be such a waste of resources to me that lay people have wisdom, okay? And yet they have more wisdom, they're more useful than the other sanghas. Okay? So why don't we use them? Why don't we take some special considerations? It's none of your business. First of all, you're not a sangha. You shouldn't be talking about these things. Okay, Vimalakirti in general is exceptions where he's actually a Buddha, and Buddhas can do whatever they want. There's no point in bringing it up because Buddhas do what Buddhas do, and I have no clues why they do it because they're Buddhas. If you ask me, there's a reason because they're Buddhas. It's none of our business. We don't understand why they do it. Okay, it's beyond us. But what about these lay people? Okay, let's say some of the people I saw out there in Northern California, Southern California, high level than sanghas who've been around for decades. They chose to be lay people for a reason. Okay, we need to respect it. So, bottom line, no, they're not considered to be sangha. The only exception is Vimalakirti, who is a Buddha. Buddhas are always exceptions. Whatever they do is an exception. Okay, but if you are a bodhisattva, it's you still have to follow the Buddha's system, if you will. Okay, what's the first question?
This is a question about there's no difference between the Buddha Dharma, my Dharma, and Dharma of living beings. Does that mean that the transcendental Dharma includes the worldly Dharma?
Not to you. To you, the Buddha Dharma is not worldly Dharmas. Because if you confuse them right now, you can say, okay, then if you say the Buddha Dharma is the same as the worldly Dharma, then let me go get a PhD in engineering. It's a Buddha Dharma anyway. No, it's not. Or let me go get a PhD in Buddhology from Wisconsin, Berkeley, okay, Berkeley University. No, it's not. I would never pay for any of my disciples to get a PhD in Buddhology. I hope that when your generation comes, don't do that either. It's just a waste of money. Master is okay. Master is good training, good reasoning, good research for you. But PhD in Buddhology, to me, is total waste of time. That's why I disagree with my teacher. I would never, ever give you money to study a PhD in Buddhology. Okay? You can do it on your own, not my money. And so the Vimalakirti is a special case, and for as far as you are concerned, the Buddha Dharma is not worldly dharmas. So when is the worldly dharma that Master Shua talked about? He's talking about a very high level that none of you can understand. That's why I say that Master Shua taught a lot of things that his disciples don't understand. That's why they could not translate properly. Even with the levels back then, they still could not understand these things. The worldly dharmas, the Buddha Dharma, none of them could understand it. Never mind about now. Okay, it's even worse now. And so in cultivation, You have to be true to your teacher's teachings. If you're not true, and you make excuses, and you try to hide, and you try to cover up, okay, your shortcomings and your weaknesses, it catches up with you. It shows. Buddha Dharma, okay? Why is the Buddha Dharma not worldly Dharma? Because for you, you're untrue. The Buddha Dharma, the worldly Dharma is untrue. All the engineers are liars. They lie to their teeth to make a living. True or not? Look at that loser of the engineer. 4.
Emitofuo, that's very true, Master. Regulation change all the time, code change all the time. So what we talk is actually keep changing. So that's the untruth. Yeah.
So you see, the point is that worldly Dharma is a Dharma of the untrue. You want to live in the world, you have to be untrue. If you're true, you insist on being true in the world, the world will keep on pushing you and pushing and pushing you to the edge, and then dump you eventually. Okay? So that's why you can never say, since you don't have wisdom yet, you can never say that the Buddha Dharma is worldly Dharma. Because one is the truth. When you cultivate the Buddha Dharma, let me remind you, be true to yourself. It's very, very important. Don't do it because you're afraid people will judge you, like the Koreans will judge you, like the Vietnam will judge you, and the Americans will judge you. We don't give a damn. Be true to yourself. We're not talking about right and wrong. You hear, boys and girls? I'm talking about, are you true to yourself? That's Buddha Dharma. It's different from a Buddha Dharma, from the worldly Dharma right now. But once you reach a certain level, because that you need that to be true to yourself. Don't succumb to the pressure from outside, because you need to be approved, because you need your girlfriend to like you. You need to be popular. You need your husband to not divorce you. Okay, things like that, okay? I understand all those, okay? Okay? And so the worldly people, we have to compromise. Come on, you tell me. We compromise every single day to be accepted, to be able to live in the world, okay? It's the opposite of the Buddha Dharma. This is why Buddha says, I want to take you away from the world, put you in isolation, something called the sangha, something called the temple, so that you have a chance to be true to yourself. And guess what our sanghas do nowadays? They're so smart. They see Master has money now, so they kiss up to Master's ass, hoping for inheritances. Especially when Master reaches get an old age already. Okay? So this is why the sanghas will get nowhere, because they're scheming. They're jostling for the benefits and the inheritances and stuff like that, and they don't realize that their training is about how to mine that incredible treasure that they own. They're such small thinkers, these losers. I have no problems throwing them out. Let me tell you, we want special people like you. Okay? Later, when you have true wisdom, magnificent wisdom, that's when you realize that the Buddha Dharma is a worldly Dharma. Okay? And that's the state of the Avatamsaka Sutra, old man. Okay? That's why we're studying it. Time is up. Thank you, everyone. I want to make another special remark. Okay, I want you to look at the screen. In the temple, it's very interesting. Look at DTT. You see, we have a lot of sanghas there, and a couple of lay people. You notice that? Okay. Now you notice something interesting. They sit away from each other. They don't like each other. In my master's temple, you have to sit next to each other, okay? Otherwise, you're breaking the rules. In my temple, we lose. You can be true to yourself. You don't like each other, it's okay. You can show it. Look at all of them. It's like, it looks like they don't take showers or something at all. So there's a big distance, big gap there between them. Okay, thank you, everyone. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Are you true? Are you false? Are you true or false? You false.